lovers, the moon is a thing of beauty. But to this man it is a deadly curse. When the moon is full, this miserable wretch turns into a hairy, snarling half-man, half-beast. Prowls the night, his fangs thirsty for human blood. He is a werewolf.
Hello and welcome to the Werewolf by Night podcast, the show where we talk about Marvel's #1 lycanthrope, Jack Russell, aka the Werewolf, aka the Beast, aka the Shaggy One. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
And I'm your host as well, Jacob Balcom.
Host as well.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Too good for co-host.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us this week anyway, listeners. I hope it's a good show. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. I'm a little out of sorts, but we were talking to Brad last week. This show's going to pull me around, get my head straight, get my head right, and everything's going to be great, right?
It is totally going to be great.
Because that's why we read Bronze Age comics.
That's why we do this entire thing, is so we feel a little bit better at the end of recording than we did when we began. And it always works.
Always works. It's like a shot of B12 in the butt cheek.
Yep.
So, yeah, thanks for joining us this week. I was kidding earlier. That was just me goofing around. I don't have any personal problems at all. I was thinking about that. Like Brad was like, when we're saying like, yeah, we'll start the show and I'll be all grumpy. And he's like, what do you have to be grumpy about? Your life's awesome. And I was like, fuck you. You walk a mile in my moccasins, my man.
That's right. You did edit that line out of the episode.
Did I really? That doesn't sound like me. No, I sometimes it's nice to have somebody say your life seems pretty good, but he does know me through Zoom calls and social media. So what does he know?
Yeah, exactly.
Got pretty big crosses I carry around here. So after today, I'll be going on a week-long rafting trip, and I really need that. I need a mental break, so this is a good thing. So this will be my mental scrubbing here, right here, tonight, this episode. And then you can take care of stuff.
Yep.
Around Werewolf headquarters.
I will take care of things. You have nothing to worry about.
Okay. So we're talking about Werewolf by Night, issue number 38. And this is kind of a big deal because the last issue, the regular one, not the Marvel Premiere number 28, but the last one was the supposed end of the run, and then it got saved, as we talked about. And now this Werewolf, he's back, man. He's ready for a bi-monthly schedule. He's got a whole new bag. And so let's find out what's going on in his world. Because they really trumpeted this here at the beginning and in the editorial pages and the stuff, and I was interested in that. So let's talk about this cover here. This is a Perlin, which I guess, like you said, Perlin, does he draw the rest of them? Oh, no, he doesn't draw the rest.
Oh, I think he maybe draws one more.
Okay. Does he draw next month's?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. I get a little hung up on it, 39, because I've said many times that was the first one I ever bought. So that was my first issue.
Yeah.
So this one's a great cover, though. It's got the werewolf standing on the top of a snowy cliff. And there's a whole lot of action going on. There's a huge swollen full moon behind him that encircles almost like a porthole, like in a comic book, character cover. And he is surrounded by wolves and, dare I say, hicks, ne'er-do-wells, blackguards.
Goons.
So he's with one claw, he's swiping a wolf away that's charging and jumping at him. On the other hand, he's holding the neck of a local yokel. And one guy's shooting at him from the distance and says, "Stop him, the werewolf must die." And another guy has a handgun. He's shooting at him on his knees and he's freaking out. There's a wolf biting his calf. Another wolf is charging and about to bite his other thigh. Below him, there's a dead townie, seemingly dead, with open dead eyes, staring in the snow. And it says, "Starting now, a new beginning for the macabre moon beast." So again, they're really punching this new, brand new day thing. And then it says on the other side, featuring the most unexpected guest star of all. Read this twice today.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure who they're talking about.
Yeah.
I have ideas. But Steve Rogers is not in here.
No, he's not.
John Lennon. John Lennon does not appear.
Both of those would be unexpected.
Or Jim Belushi.
Yeah.
Which will be appropriate. Right.
Yes.
What do you think of this one?
I think it's an awesome cover. Like, it's just, it is. I think it's a great cover for them trying to kind of rebrand the book, because it's a very violent cover. I just think it's really well constructed, and the layout is great. Perlin's pencils and inks are really, really good. I love this cover.
I love the the townies' faces, like the dude that he's holding his neck. That's a great horrified expression.
Yeah, it is. No, this is a super, super awesome cover. So I was gonna tell you that there is a little bit something special about this issue. So there's actually two versions of this issue. If you look on GCD, there's this one, which is the 25-cent version, price on the cover. And it actually has a variant where it's sold for 30 cents. And it's still that same little, bubble where the price is, except it's all whited out, and just this very small, blocky 30 cents is in the middle of it. It looks really bad.
Like a price gun tag.
Yeah, it literally does look like a price gun tag. But these are kind of special, because this was it's called the Marvel 30-cent variants. And they are test price versions of all the regular 25-cent titles that Marvel published from April to August of 1976. So basically, Marvel was raising the prices of all their titles in 6 test markets to see how the consumer would react to a 5-cent price increase on their comics. So there were small runs of these printed, and they were distributed in 6 cities. It's Grand Rapids, Baltimore, San Antonio, San Jose, Albuquerque, and
Coos Bay.
And Coos Bay. You're right.
Sorry, what was the last one?
Springfield, Massachusetts, actually.
Not Oregon.
And,
okay.
No, I know. It's a little bit of a bummer. But I knew about these because a good buddy of mine, John McClure, who I worked with on a article for the price guide on Israel Waldman, he actually discovered the variants and published an article about them in I think it's a 97 issue of Comic Book Marketplace. So they've become pretty valuable because the test runs were, a lot lower in number than a normal run that would be for the whole country. So print runs are real low. They were only distributed in 6 cities. So copies of even this one, Werewolf by Night 38, can be a couple $100 in really, really good shape, just because they're scarce and they're weird.
What kind of data were they collecting as far as, like, was it only sales that was going to inform whether they were going to raise prices, or were they accepting anecdotal, evidence from news agents and stuff like that? Or was they just sales?
I think it was a combo of both. I think it was probably mostly sales, but I know they did get feedback on it too from these markets. And it obviously worked because they raised the prices of their comics not too long from now.
Despite that Irv guy saying, "What's the matter, you?" Yeah. On the regular non-30-cent variant, it says still only 25 cents, which was a new thing. This was, it's not on Marvel Premiere 28, which came out 2 months before this, whatever. So how long did that stick around? When did they bump everything up?
Not too long from now. I should have double checked on that. But I think this is in reference to DC being 30 cents at the time.
Sons of bitches.
But they've done this multiple times over the last decade of the 70s. But I always thought it was funny, like, still only 25 cents. But it doesn't last too much longer. I think within the year the prices are all raised. It
always makes me think of that Mr. Show sketch about the big corporate chain store crushing the small mom and pop store.
Fairly,
our stores are not constantly on fire.
Fairly Foods.
Your children will not be kidnapped from our stores. No one's ever been kidnapped at our stores. I don't even know what that's about.
Just yeah, for a full Mr. Show aside, I love that one so much, and it segues right into the sketch about Everest.
Yes,
which is just the
Absurd.
1-2 punch of those two is just probably my favorite Mr. Show moment.
Yeah. So I really like the way that Perlin drew and inked the pecs of the beast, like the fur and the musculature on this one. I'm a big guy for the physique, and I nailed it here.
You're a big guy for the physique, but you like the physique done right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think he really nailed the werewolf's face on this one. Like he looks angry. He doesn't have kitty cat eyes. Sometimes, Perlin was kind of casting about doing this and that and the other. And right here, man, he nailed him. Big, huge mouth full of teeth. Just love this cover. And that weird toe-headed guy in the corner shooting his pistol.
I just love his hair.
Yeah. It's like pre-Bieber. Let's dive into this one.
Okay. So, all right. We have on our opening page, our creators for this issue are Doug Munch, Don Perlin, Deborah James, letterer, Petra Goldberg, colorist, and Marv Wolfman is editor. And so glad we have Petra back. How great is that?
Yeah.
And you can really tell, too, because there's a lot of, I don't know, color really is a big part of this story.
Mm-hmm.
Like even just in the different colors of narration boxes, like she does some heavy lifting in this, and it helps with the story for sure. And so the opening page is a full page illustration of the werewolf on a snowy hill, kind of like looking down at a cabin. And there's black smoke pouring out of the chimney, but materializing out of the smoke like these three scary figures. There's one that's kind of like a shrouded figure of death. There's a Gorgon, kind of like, would you describe her as that? What would you describe her as?
She's a snake lady.
She's a snake lady. Okay. Yeah. But then I liked it, the guy on the very right, which is, this goat man with curled horns, looking super evil. And written in the snow is the title of the issue, which is Rebirth Also Kills. Which I kind of feel like, Doug likes to go for the swing for the fences in his titles. And this one seems kind of tame for him. I would think he would make a lot more flourish on his title in this one.
I think that he was really going for this rebirth concept here. Okay. I think that reinventing the werewolf was really what he was going for. So he chose a direct title instead of a florid, longy, poetic one. Okay,
I like that. I like that explanation. So that satisfies me.
Do you have? I immediately had names for these people in the Plug Plasma chimney smoke too. It's Cokey Clokerson, Hissy Elliott, and Black Phillip. What do you think of my pet name for them?
I think they're perfect. I'm really glad I didn't come up with any because they would have paled in comparison. No, I love it. I like
Hissy Elliott.
Well, Hissy Elliott is obviously going to be the crowd favorite.
It was that kind of day.
Oh, no, it's great. I love it. So the weird thing that pops up immediately on this first page is that it does something pretty unique in this series, I think, is that, so much of this series, the majority, if not all of it, is basically Jack kind of flashing back and remembering this and narrating. But this one, has that, but it also has this weird other narrator that is definitely not Jack Russell. So this narrator's voice shows up throughout the issue in black text boxes. And the first one's at the top of the opening page, and it says, "Statement. You are about to witness the strangest occurrence ever to involve the creature designated as werewolf and instigated by the three who are all. This statement should not be taken lightly. Perhaps it is a warning. Control of the narrative is now returned to Jack Russell with periodic interruptions to follow."
It's like Dragnet.
It's pretty awesome. I like that. It lays out the structure and the format right there in your omniscient narrator.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the narration of the page, or at least in the middle of the page, is Jack thinking back, saying, "I'd come to the California North Woods to lose myself, maybe to get rid of myself." Just like we saw last issue, he left his supporting cast behind, didn't want to hurt them anymore, and went off into the wilderness. So this issue really takes place right after the last one. the bottom it says, but the end was only a new beginning. Still, how was I to know? How was I to know they were watching me, that they'd always watched me before I was born and after I died? It's pretty heavy. Then we have another black text box at the bottom that says, the creature shaped of ancient fears must soon suffer a change. Therefore, the form of his suffering will be changed. Yes and no.
Yeah. So switching it up a little bit,
What do you think of this high concept?
I was all in.
I'm all in too.
Especially when they said, when he was saying that they'd always watched me before I was born and after I would die. Once you kind of have this theme that comes up in here that Jack is important. There's a role for him. These fates essentially have something for him. I always get kind of intrigued by that concept. So I'm always in on that. And, before we had the Legion of Monsters episode, like you said that he came up to the woods to kind of abandon his life and protect everyone. And here, though, it kind of alludes to maybe get rid of myself forever. Like there's definitely some suicide overtones in a couple of his phrases, the way he refers to removing himself from the situation. Definitely.
I mean, I think that's on the top of his mind for sure.
Yeah. So this art is gorgeous. I love that the perspective of him in the foreground on the top of the snowy hill looking down towards the cabin. And again, those three strange characters watching over him. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's an awesome page. I would love to own the original art to this one.
Oh, no kidding. I really like the layout on the next page. Another thing that's interesting too throughout this is that it's broken up much like the giant size issues were, with these sections and names for things. But this is a normal length issue. So these get kind of weird, and it gets to be almost kind of like, it felt like some Roger Waters, like it was like a prog concept album, like this is side C, Encounter, and then it says in parentheses 1, strange choice. But the page is laid out below that really cool. There's 4 small like I-beam panels on the top, and then 2 more square ones below it, and then 1 big long rectangular horizontal one below. Perlin did some really cool layouts in this and some great art in here. So we jump to, from that first page, the werewolf is stalking towards the cabin. He says, instead of losing myself, I found a cabin. Maybe there'd be something inside I could ... use. So again, I was saying, is that a suicide thing, or is that food? Is he thinking there's someone in there he can eat? Is it spam?
No, that sounds dark. That sounds like he's having the suicidal thoughts.
But it says there was something inside, all right, but I couldn't use an explosion. And a rifle comes out of the window and shoots and hits a wolf. And he runs towards it. He doesn't know if it's to aid it or to maybe eat it, but he's scrambling over through the snow to it. And then a bunch of other wolves attack him. And they burst from the darkness out of nowhere, snarling and slavering, kicking powdery sprays of silver glinting snow. And then the gun fires again and kills a wolf in mid-leap. And Jack stands his ground, he's trying to warn them back, but he's feeling an affinity with them. He's like, after all, they were wolves, which made me laugh. Probably because of what we do in the shadows. They were wolves. We should have been friends. And then another wolf jumps onto his chest and attacks him and says, instead, they tried to kill me. And he's looking at him. He's like, I can see the ribs poking through their fur, like they're obviously pretty hungry. So they're not fooling around. So yeah, he's being attacked by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wolves that haven't been shot yet. So there's a pack of wolves on his ass.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. The layout of this page is really unique and really interesting. And yeah, I like the chapter breaks they're more goofy than forced like they were in the giant size ones. I like it. This is you're right. It seemed like someone that likes the high concepts like Roger Waters or something, where it's high concept and also a little insufferable at the same time, which is, I think, the ingredients that are his personality. And I really think that is the theme of this issue, because a lot of the weird narration and stuff, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? This is almost the anti-giant size, to where you really a lot of the times have to be like, what is happening? Who is saying this? Like, you can't just breeze through this issue.
No, I was going to say, like all you were saying, in a good way, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, no, this is great. I mean, I'm totally in. So like you're saying on the next page, the entire wolf pack just attacks the beast. And yeah, the narration is just like, they brought me down in swarms, ripping and gutting me as they came. So I fought back, or rather the werewolf fought back. Then there's just panel after panel of just him just being brutal with these wolves, you know, crushing one of their necks, just chomping full on into another's neck and slashing and tearing at the other ones. That's really brutal. It's great. It's a great page. And yeah, I liked the bottom. It was like, it was talking, I was more wolf than they were and more man too. The combination was a killer, and the snow sucked at red stuff.
That's such weird. I know what he's saying, but it's such a strange turn of phrase.
That is the wonder of Doug, and that's why we love him. That's why we love these issues. But man, yeah.
I was so glad to see the Beast back to tearing things throats out and biting into things with his fang. Now that Jack's not home anymore. It was really great.
It is nice. I miss his shit-eating grin, but I like him tearing the throats out of things much more. So this,
Me too.
Yeah, this was a big improvement. And God, that last panel on the page, what the shit? It's so cool. That. Just that looks like something that Johnny Craig could have drawn in EC Comics or something.
Totally,
it's so good.
Perspective in so many of these panels is just glorious.
Yeah, this is I mean, Don Perlin is really bringing it this issue. Mm-hmm. So this is like from the perspective of someone with the gun. It's aimed at the Beast, who you see in silhouette with just like 3 or 4 wolves surrounding him. It's framed by a yellow moon. It's just, and the colors in this too, that red on the bottom. And this is all of the creators of Werewolf by Night just working in
all cylinders.
Total sync. Oh my God, they're so good.
I love in this, the foreground, we get this rifle barrel, but it's, huge and monstrous on our left of our field of vision. And then that he's continuing the motion from the previous panel. So he's still throwing his claws up, holding a wolf by the neck. And he looks like he's just like screaming up at this, shrieking up at the moon. God, in silhouette, with a pile of dead wolves forming at his feet, by the way. God, that's badass.
Yeah, it's my favorite panel of the issue for sure.
It's up there. Definitely. I did note that one. So it says, starving or not, most of them has split. So there's a few that aren't dead yet, but he's just still slashing away at one of the last remaining ones. There's blood on his claws, like a big just spray of blood as he's swiping. And then the moon crests over the snow-covered hills. And we have a little 3-panel transformation, which I kind of like, where he's looking to his right, and then he's looking at us, and then the third panel is looking to his left, and he goes from Wolf to Mid to Jack. But in that panel, he's still the final panel, he still kind of has a little bit of wolfish teeth and eyes, and he's kind of sweating as he turns back. It's nothing, not a grand slam, but a pretty solid little transformation.
I don't know. I think the motion between those 3 panels is what sells it. Like you're right. It doesn't look like anything fancy, but just the storytelling and the motion between the 3, I think it's great.
Yeah, with a solid purple background, which we haven't seen for a while.
No, we haven't.
And, again, we were saying way back in the day when those would show up, that it never felt like that was a shortcut, like it would be on some Gold Key kind of comics, whatever. Like it was when he used it, or he or Plug, it was a way of focusing your eye on something important, not a way of cutting a corner. Mm-hmm. And so Jack passes out in a pile of dead wolves on the snow. And there's one of these strange black panels at the bottom of this page. And it says, halfway around the world, Raymond Coker is screaming. And if nothing else about this issue, this interjection of these things and the connecting of these disparate stories and threads was fascinating. Like I could not wait to figure out what the hell was going on.
Agreed. It's really cool storytelling device.
Yeah. And so Jack's out. It says time passed. My eyes knew it. And he wakes up. He's confused. Like, where am I? And he's inside the cabin. And this guy named Mac gives him a cup of coffee. And he's like, hey, man, I thought those wolves had killed you. And he's like, wolves? Oh, yeah, I remember now. Hey, man, thanks for helping me out, And he sits up and he's having the cup of coffee. And the guy is like, well, I couldn't just, leave you out there. I tried to shoot as many of them as I could, but I couldn't shoot the ones that were close to you because I was scared I was going to hit you. So, if you recall, Jack was silhouetted by the moon. So normally we would have a drink because, whatever. But this he's like 20 yards away, and it was night, and I'm going to give him this one.
Really? No drink?
No, I'm going to have a drink, but I'm going to give him this one.
Okay, thank God.
But this is choice, damn it. This is my own volition. Mac points out, they're probably starving because these idiot hunters have killed off all their food, which I thought was interesting. Maybe a little Doug kind of eco commentary, just sneaking one in there.
That's cool.
They overhunt the deer, so now the wolves are hungry. But he says that doesn't matter, blah, blah. It's not the 4-footed ones I'm worried about. It's the real wolves. And Jack's like, the real wolves? It's like, yep, Morrison and his pals, they want me. So Jack's trying to, he just woke up, he's on his first cup of coffee. He must be confused.
That's funny. I liked when he says the real wolves. I just imagined like an audible gulp.
Yeah.
Like a zoinks or something.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So like you said, Mac, the last words that he says is that Morrison and his pals, they want and then you go to the next page, he says, they want my daughter. And he points toward a crib with this infant in it.
Just sitting right in front of Jack.
I know. But yeah, he's 20 or whatever. He's not going to notice shit like that. Yeah, and Max says they probably want to take her away so they can try to kill her again. And just like, what the hell? He says, but I swear, I never dreamed. How could I? That she could be so crazy. Goes and starts talking to him that his ex, his wife is crazy. Got up with this guy named Morrison, and they ended up like beating the baby and like abusing the baby. So it's taken away. So custody was taken away from them, given back to Mac. And he says, and that's when I started receiving threats on my life and on Maura's life, this baby. If you can imagine people threatening to murder a baby. And he says, my wife and Morrison couldn't get custody through the courts. They'd get Maura their own way. And so he's saying like, yeah, I did go to the cops, but they said there was nothing they could do. And then Morrison actually made an attempt on Mac's life. And so Mac was just like, fuck it, I'm getting out of here. He says, and that's when I left Sacramento. That made me laugh for some reason.
Yeah, no, this page, this guy just vomits his life story on Jack. And I don't know how Jack is, but I'm like, when my wife, like, who's been up for 2 hours before I have, comes in while I'm having my first sip of coffee, and she's like, so we got to pay this bill, we got blah, blah, and then did you call so-and-so? And make sure that you change calendar date from this date to that date. It's like, dude, I don't want to be a cliche coffee mug saying, but please don't talk to me about anything heavy until I've had one cup of coffee. And so Jack's still working on this shit.
Yeah. Hey, you're right. It's just such a wordy page. It's so crazy. But I do love the last panel, which shows, the outside of the cabin. And yeah, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 8 wolf carcasses just lying outside. Yeah. Just in case you forgot what just happened. And the final words of the page are, outside the wind howled, then moaned.
So let me see if I got this right.
Okay.
Mac was married to his wife, we don't know her name, for 9 years. Yeah. And she started slipping around with this Morrison guy. And then she left Mac to be with Morrison and had custody of Maura. But then they were abusing the child, so the courts gave Mac custody of his daughter. And then how did they get it back?
Well, they're trying to get it back. They're making attempts on his life,
Oh, that's when they started threatening him.
Yeah.
He had full custody.
That's when he left Sacramento.
Yeah. And he says, yeah. Jack's like, why didn't you have him arrested? He's like, they said there was nothing they could do until my wife or Morrison broke the law. I think death threats are against the law. Last I checked, they are in Oregon.
Yeah, 1976.
Oh yeah, that's right. Jeez. So there's this wild panel on the next page where Mac's been relatively subdued for a dude telling a weird story. And then he just snaps and grabs his rifle and cocks it. He's like, but if the cops won't protect my daughter, then I will. And he looks just insane, which I guess I would be the same if somebody was threatening my daughter. But so if Morrison so much as comes near this place, he's dead meat. And that's when he cocks the rifle. I swear it. He was mad and desperate. So anyway, he's like, it's only a matter of time until my wife remembers this is our cabin where we had our honeymoon. She'll probably figure out that I'm here holed up with my daughter. So Morrison and his goons are going to be here soon. Jack's probably thinking, I really wish I'd just gone to another cabin, but, he's watching Mac and the daughter, he's like rocking the bassinet and he's like, I'm going to help this guy any way I can. And he's like, oh, fuck, I'm a werewolf. Hey, what time is it? And the guy's like, I don't know. My watch broke a long time ago, but man, you were asleep all day. It's like late afternoon. He's like, fuck. So he runs to the door. He's trying to take unbar the door. Take the plank of wood off. He's like, listen, I gotta go. I'll call the police or something. I'll send him back here. He's like, what? Are you crazy? You can't leave now. It's almost dark and all those wolves are out there roaming around and I don't have a car. My car broke down 10 miles from here. I walked here with my daughter on my back when we came out here. I don't know why that was so funny to me, but like this so utterly isolated is hilarious. And then, Jack's like, look, I can't explain it, but I've got to get out of here. And then Jack says, I was panicking. We struggled and it ended predictably. And the predictability is Mac punches the shit out of Jack and sends him back into the bed Jack was sleeping in?
Bed, yeah.
And shatters the frame. He's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And he reaches out a hand to hoist Jack back up. It's like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad juju here.
Yeah, things just explode in those last 3 panels. And this is one of those instances, I think you said it a few episodes back, if I'm correct, that, Jack just needs to Memento style just write on his arm, you are a werewolf. Because he just keeps forgetting. I mean, I know he's a teenager still and he just woke up and stuff, but yeah, he forgets so often.
Yeah, and it's not fair to, we used to have that in the old days when he was really immature. He would forget to even make a plan for the sundown. Here, this isn't the case. He was unconscious, but I'm still drinking.
Yeah, I'm drinking too. All
right.
The next page is pretty badass.
This is when all this shit starts to pay off.
Yeah, and
the weird
and there's so much information on this page. I'll try to summarize, but suddenly Mac is just gone, and like Jack is in the darkness, and that same shrouded figure. What name did you have for him?
Cloaky Cloakerson? I don't remember.
Cloaky Cloakerson?
Cloaky Cloaksworth. Sorry.
Cloaky Cloaksworth. Oh, yeah, that's way better. From the opening page, he appears in front of Jack and he says, God, these first couple speeches that he gives are so badass. Like just no context, just out of nowhere. He's like, there was a reason the world drowned in flood and a man built a boat. A reason November 22nd, 1963 came to Dealey Plaza. Like Jack in the next panel, he's like, what's going on here? And then the shrouded figures keep saying, a reason the volcano erupted and covered an island in the molten soul of the earth. A reason clouds mushroomed over Japan. A reason the sun will explode in less than 200 years. And a reason you must remain here, Jack Russell. That reason is death. And in death, there will come change. So how would you describe, so this panel, it's like most of the page is taken up with just this one like kind of square panel that's divided in these weird kind of like feathered red lines. And it's divided into 6 panels, but they're all different sizes.
Irregular.
It's very fluid.
So the first thing I want to point out though is that on the previous page, when Mac is saying, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I lost my cool, whatever. And he reaches down to Jack. The next panel it could be superimposed over that. So the cloaked figure, basically Mac becomes the cloaked figure in Jack's eyes or experience. So it is reached out. It's in the same position Mac was with his hand reached out. So that's what's so trippy when this happens. It's like a light switch is flipped and the room goes black. And where Mac was standing, this figure standing.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about it is that the transformation is in an instant. It's not a transformation sequence like a werewolf transformation. Yeah, and that's way scarier.
Yeah, it's like Jacob's ladder or something.
It's so freaky. And Jack's face in the bottom of that panel, bottom left, and his face is just his expression is so great and just terrified.
So Ditko.
Oh, it is. It's so Ditko. And he says, "How do you know my name? Who are you?" And the shrouded figure says, we are the 3 who are all. We are changing your life, Jack Russell. You came to these woods to lose yourself, hoping to die, hoping to kill yourself. And we shall demonstrate why you must not die, that your life is necessary, and that no matter how much you suffer, your life can be used to aid others. So it's a wonderful lifing.
Yeah, pretty hard.
Okay, yeah, we get that. It says to aid the affairs of the world, the workings of the 3 who are all. Like Jack's like 3, but there's only one of, and then that light switches right back on, and suddenly it's Mac leaning down, giving his hand to Jack, saying, "Mean to hurt you," says Mac finished his sentence. The other guy was gone, if he'd ever existed. I grew dizzy, my mind whirling. So Jack is just like, what the fuck is going on?
So much cool stuff on this page.
I know. I mean, yeah, there's so much.
First of all, when the cloaked figure is first appears and starts talking about Noah and Kennedy, below that, you skipped over that strange narration that's in black. It says, Raymond Coker is moaning now, showing nothing but the whites of his bulging eyes. Sweat is a slick sheen of pain on his black forehead. Yeah. There's this weird Lynchian, like, you know what I mean? That's like Lost Highway or something like that, where it's like, I'm in your house right now. Like, it's just like, oh God, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that was the first movie I thought of too. This whole thing is very Lost Highway.
Yeah, so we are already getting the sense that Jack and Coker's fates are now linked by these characters, even though we don't know why or what, but we are being told what is happening at that precise moment to Raymond Coker. So now we're all joined. Petra's colors on this page, like you were, the Jack reaction pages where he's bathed in golds. It's so gorgeous. Golds and oranges. I can't even. Perlin's inks and her colors it's just stunning. It's like Indiana Jones looking into the, at the idol with the golden little idol at the beginning of Raiders or whatever.
Yeah.
His face is bathed in gold, or the briefcase from Pulp Fiction or something like that. It's just amazing. Yeah.
I mean, looking at Petra Goldberg's GCD, like the amount of credits she had at Marvel in the 70s, there's so many of them. And it's because of this. It's because she was a superstar colorist, probably the most talented colorist that Marvel had throughout the entire 70s. And
that's one of the few colorists I can name from the 70s, and that's because her work is so impressive.
Yeah, and I know that the 70s include, George Rousseau and Marie Severin, who of course are amazing, but God, Petra's just on a whole other level.
Yeah, it's whole nother,
sorry.
So Jack passed out.
Yeah, Jack passed out, and then there's a bottom dark text box that says, the man no longer wears the cowl. It is not his to wear, but Raymond Coker screams one last time.
So at this point, are you getting the impression that these entities, again, very Lynchian kind of frosty, Lynchy kind of thing, like that they're like, is that thing occupying Mac? Or is it just a reality shift where they're just inhabiting this similar space so that it's not mind-breakingly disruptive to the subject that's viewing it?
Yeah, I honestly don't know, but it's something you can really think about. It is layered in a really cool way that's done, mostly visually, even though I'm sure Doug had a lot to do with plotting this, of course. But yeah, the weird horror elements of this issue are shockingly good.
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying, like, the man no longer wears the cowl, and this is the black with the yellow text. So this is like the god or the whatever this thing is, the unifying narrator. It was not his to wear. I was just like, whoa. So it just took Mac like a skin, and like just wore him for a second, and whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's just endless idea. I love that kind of stuff. That just
No, it's a Bob possession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like it is. So the next page we have Vision, (2, burning snake. And we have a hard cut down to, are we in Haiti?
We're in Haiti, yes. Right? Yes, we're in Haiti.
So we see Gisela of the 1,000 whatever's years hut, which we've been to many times over the last 6 or 7 issues.
So many times.
It says, in a crude hut somewhere in the remote Haitian jungles, a learning process not meant to be understood is completed. And there's just this little crude hut out in the jungle, and just a scream, just, yeah. And then the narration continues. Other weird occurrences which cannot be understood are about to begin. And we cut inside the hut, and there's this rad visual of Raymond Coker face down, floating fully erect, like you would in a pool if you were facing out the bottom of the pool, but he's just levitating off the floor.
Yeah.
And Gisela's standing there holding, I think, some relics and doing some rituals. And she says, your screams have ended, Raymond Coker. Now you must awaken. And he says, the dreams, Gisela, let me down. What did you do to me? And she says, I just lived your entire life, like in, this space of a ritual. You asked me, about the Zuvimbis. You asked for my help. So I lived your life, and I know that you were once a beast man, but another beast man cured you. And so now you must go to, and then that light switch happens, just like happened to Jack with Mac. All of a sudden, she's gone, and she's replaced by a woman who is green with green fire hair, scaled eyes, a forked tongue, arms that end in cobras, and a huge snake bottom half. Hissy Elliot.
Yes.
And Raymond Coker gives another little clue. He says, "What the dreams? They're back." And the snake lady says, "This is no dream, Raymond Coker. Gisela will instruct you to seek the aid of Jericho Drum. She will be correct in doing so. However, once you have found Jericho Drum, you must lead him to Jack Russell. He is the key, and you are his key. It will involve death, but it is an honor." And Raymond's like, who are you? She says, "We are the three who are all." And he's like, and he says, "The three who," and then immediately she disappears. Everything goes back, and he's not levitating anymore. So he just dead drops 4 feet onto the floor. And Gisela finishes her sentence she was in the middle of: "Go to Jericho Drum." So all this stuff happens in literally 0 time. So it
cool.
exists in a plane that we don't understand. And she says, "Go to him, Raymond Coker, now. Go to Jericho Drum and take him to the beast man who cured you." And then that black text comes back and says, a black box, and says, "As the tires of his car crunch snow and smoke curls over treetops in the distance, Morrison smiles sadistically." So this thing where you're constantly, it's like in editing when you have a character talking in an interview or whatever, and then they finish talking and they're kind of smiling or nodding, and then the next character starts talking, but you don't see them yet. Those J-cuts, what they're called. It's like that. This whole thing is like J-cut and dovetailed to where everything nests together perfectly to where you never have a break. It's like a Mobius strip almost, like of just like these things, the three, meeting the three and the three who they're connected to and giving the mission or whatever to. Fascinating stuff.
That's such a good point. And definitely, it's almost like an audio video editing type way of writing and illustrating a comic. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, because, this is humid Haitian jungle. And they're talking about tires crunching over snow. Like, it's so, you know what I mean? It's disconcerting.
No, it's very, very cool. Yeah, this whole page is cool. Yeah, there's something genuinely scary about Coker just levitating off the ground. Yeah. And that angle too, like I actually had to look at that panel. I'm like, wait, is he hanging from the ceiling and it's just in a weird angle? But no, he is, horizontally levitating, which is terrifying.
Yes, and it again reminds me of Bob and Wyndham Earle, like in the lodge. Like,
that's right, in the Red Room.
Where it's like, you don't have the right to do this, right? You can't take his soul.
That's so awesome. Yeah, you're right. We're getting a lot of Lynch vibes from this issue, which, you and I.
Which is probably why I'm enjoying it so much.
Yeah, God, there's nothing better. So on the next page, we have another title for the page. It says Prophecy, in parentheses 3, Goat Child. And that one kind of made me laugh a little bit.
That's a title. That's the whole project. It has to be called Goat Child.
Goat Child. And then I was also reminded at how funny it is that Topaz and Lissa drive up to Buck's like a sweet ass beach house. I forget of his amazing futuristic bachelor pad that he has right on the beach in Malibu.
He just suddenly acquired between issues.
Yeah, it is. And I think we described it before as like with Troy McClure. It's so modern. It's like ultra modern. And so they knock on his door. He opens the doors. Lissa, Topaz, still no word from him? They're like, no, nothing, Buck. And we're more than simply worried now. You know what night this is and what night it was last night. Anything could have happened to him. And so they're like, okay, we've decided we must search for Jack now, Buck. And so he says, well, it'll be tough with me stuck in this wheelchair, but if one of you will drive, I'll go with. And then again, snap of the fingers. And suddenly it's all this panel that's all cloudy and it's black with blue pencil lines of the goat man from the opening page, but it's Buck. So this
wearing Buck's pajamas.
You're right.
It's the guy is weird.
That's so weird and scary.
I know.
Yeah, suddenly this goat man is wearing Buck's pajamas and in his exact position. And he says, "You must remain here."
He's holding a cigarette.
Yes.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just realized he's holding Buck's cigarette. Even.
God, that's cool. It is. Isn't there a panel in From Hell that does that when Gull is looking at someone and suddenly it's like a Phoenician, drawing or something in the same font. Yeah, very, very cool. The Goatman continues saying, "You must remain here to greet the keys, both of them. Know that all three of you are needed and that there is a reason for what will come to pass, though it involves death." And so the girls are freaking out. Lissa's like, "Topaz, what's happening? Who?" The Goatman now is yelling at them in Buck's clothes, saying, "The three who are all have concluded their affairs. You will heed us." And then suddenly we're back to Buck, and he's like, "Go with you, I think." So even he kind of realizes something happened. And Lissa screams, "Buck, what happened to you? You changed into some sort of..." And, Buck, he's a manly man. So he's like, "Nonsense, Lissa. You're just distraught, worried about Jack. It's hysteria. Probably a temporary hallucination."
Caused by menstruation.
Yeah. I thought those, Buck hasn't really done a lot of that. So that took me by surprise a little bit. But he was just possessed by a robe-wearing goat man. So that would freak anybody out, right?
Yeah. I guess it's not jammies. It's like a plunging 70s V-neck shirt. But still.
Yeah.
And how do they... Is that a photo, like in the old days, like, we've talked about this a little bit. It came up way, way back. But there used to be this stuff you could buy that was painted black. And so you would scratch into it and your lines would be white. And so this has that effect with, like you were saying, the blue pencil lines of the goat man on a black background. How do they do that back then?
Yeah, honestly, by this point, I really have to give the credit to Petra on that. I know that she's in charge of that. That was probably just penciled and maybe just with some instructions on what to do. I know what you're talking about, and it's not Zipatone, but kind of another type of process,
more of
like
a novelty.
That, right?
Yeah,
more of a novelty thing. But yeah, I honestly just think this is fucking Petra Goldberg flexing on us all right now.
Whoa, there is Zipatone in the blues. I just noticed that. In the panel where the goat's the biggest, you can see in his ear, that is Zipatone.
Oh yeah, that is. All right.
Holy shit.
Sorry, I had to pinch zoom in on my digital version. Keep trying. It'll eventually work on your physical copy.
So that last panel of the goat man where he's yelling at Lissa.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that needs to be used somehow.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So we didn't mention this because, you're not hung up on whatever small, stupid, petty, shallow things, superficial stuff like I am. But Topaz in the green t-shirt with the purple coveralls.
Yes.
Is super cute.
Oh, okay. I didn't know which way you were going to go with that.
I don't normally like the coveralls.
Yeah, but
Topaz pulls it off.
You're right. She really does.
Yeah. And I like to think there's a joint in that front. I mean, there's got to be a front pocket there. It's always some hash or something.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, she grew up in the East.
Yeah.
She's psychic.
Yeah. No, she knows all about that.
So yeah, this is wild. So now we have the three who are all, we've seen them all connected to our characters that we know and telling them what their role is to basically make things be the way they must be. And everyone has basically said it involves death.
Yeah.
So the stakes are pretty high here. I like this. I'm loving it. Next page says Action 4, Red Snow. So before we jump to there, though, we're still at Buck's place. And he's very forlorn. And he says, well, maybe something strange has happened here or is happening here or happened. But, it might be frightening, but it doesn't fill me with fear. And I think under the circumstances, we should probably just stay here for the time being. And Topaz says, yes, Buck. I don't know why, but I agree. So they all forgot that Mango came and said, stay here. Your role is to stay here and meet the two keys.
Yeah, that's not something you'd easily forget. So,
no.
Yeah, I think they've just been kind of weirdly enchanted.
So we jump back to the cabin in the woods, and Mac is putting the baby down. Hush more, don't cry. Now Daddy's here. And in the foreground, there's just been a random gross mattress laid out on the floor, which is always like the most train spotting, depressing fucking thing in the world. and Jack's asleep on it, conked out. And then he's saying, the moon doesn't care that I'm unconscious. And it rose bright and full. And so in the foreground, Jack is sweating and starting to turn into the beast. And in the background, Mac's holding Mora and saying, "That's better, baby. Nothing's going to happen to you. I promise." So irony of ironies. But then we cut to the outside and we see a truck pulling up. And Jack says, "I felt the moon, the threat to my very human existence, coming closer." And he's turning more and more into the beast. I awoke near the end of it, more werewolf than human. And so he is woken up in the cabin fully in his werewolf form with a man and a baby, which probably just is like, baby's like an amuse-bouche, right?
Yeah.
Some little thing you get at the restaurant. And it says, "Then Jack Russell was dead and the werewolf was alive. Just at that moment, outside, this truck has pulled up right outside the cabin. The threat couldn't come any closer. It had reached its destination." So now we've got shit coming to a head. We know Morrison is here to take the baby away. And Jack has sworn to protect the baby and Mac, but Jack's not here anymore. We now have a slashing, tearing, rending machine.
Can I ask a question? Did you find it funny, too, that Morrison is coming up in like Bonnie and Clyde's car?
I did think it was kind of an odd, interesting choice. I didn't know what to think of Morrison at this point until I saw him. So
yeah,
this informed my view.
Yeah, for sure. Because on the next page, or as you see on the first panel, Jack has fully turned into the werewolf. Says, "I rose as silently and stealthily as the beast I was and crept toward the inviting back of my prey." And it's Mac with Mora, and he's like, "That's right, Mora. No one's going to get you." And the beast is totally just going to eat both of them.
And if you haven't got a chance to read this issue yet, Jack is wearing a checked, like a plaid purple shirt that goes with his green jeans, which everybody's got purple and green going on here. But thank you, Petra, by the way, for the complimentary colors. But it just him creeping up in that purple flannel shirt is so strange.
It's really funny. I mean, it's got to be one of my favorite. And you love it more than anyone when the clothes stay on for a little while, because there's nothing better than a werewolf in a nice outfit.
Mm-hmm. And he looks sharp.
He does look sharp. And so Morrison and his goons have arrived outside in Bonnie and Clyde's purple car, and they've decided to tear gas the place. So they throw a tear gas canister through the cabin window to smoke out Mac and his baby. But this is actually a good thing, because the werewolf is just about to eviscerate them and the tiny child, who looks very like funny angelic in that little illustration. Yeah, it just look like a little cherub. Then right as the beast is about to get him, the tear gas canisters come through the window. And I love the face on the beast as he's like, "Oh, tear gas, not again." And then he just full on dives, crashes out the window. It says, "Panicked, the werewolf fled, forgetting his prey-seeking breath. And Mac had never even seen me, had never seen the werewolf, but Morrison did." And then, we get our first full-on view of Morrison, who sees the werewolves like, "There he is, shoot!" And I like our last panel is just two guns, blam, blam. It says, "Trouble is, Morrison thought I was Mac."
That last panel looks like a Liechtenstein or something. Like it is the coolest pop art, like non sequitur.
Yeah. No, it's really cool.
Yeah. Morrison, they let us know that these are lower class folks, because when they pull up, it says he's probably, and it's PROB''L. He's probably got a rifle in there. You got that tear gas. So they're townies, like I was saying in the beginning.
Yeah.
And Mac didn't see the werewolf about to tear him and his daughter apart because the tear gas. So he's none the wiser.
No, he's none the wiser. So we drink.
Oh, we drink. Yes, we drink.
Yes.
So describe Morrison to the poor fool who hasn't got to read this comic yet.
God, I was really trying to figure out the best way to do that. So he's kind of got maybe greasy, dirty blonde hair. He's kind of a cool looking kind of red coat with a fur collar, yellow pants. So how would you describe him? Even though he has really dirty blonde hair, but dark black eyebrows, which I think is
he looks like Dauber from Coach.
Okay.
Is that his
Okay,
name?
I think that was his name, and that's pretty good. If who I'm
Okay.
thinking of,
There was a really
good.
tall, dumb guy who had like a towhead on Coach. That was like a former player who just kind of hung around and was a gopher or something in the college football offices. I don't know. I didn't watch Coach. Fuck that
I
shit.
didn't either. I don't remember that show.
But my question was, what is with this guy's complexion?
You mean that it's kind of like pockmarked? Like
Yes.
acne
Does he
scarring?
have like, yeah, is it like pockmarks like Edward James Olmos?
Yes, he has Edward James.
So it's not
Olmos.
pimples or boils or something.
No, it definitely looked like acne scarring to me.
Okay. This son of a bitch. Okay. So I freaked out for a second because I looked at my next page, which is 18, and there is no page 18 because it had my notes about.
Are you freaking out?
No, I just realized that there isn't one.
Oh, okay.
There's a letters page. That's why. Okay.
Feel better?
Yes. Sorry, that scared me for a second. Thought I was gonna have to fly and like make shit up and just be like, I'm gonna sound stupid. So when Jack jumped out that window and Morrison saw him, he thought that was Mac, right?
Yes.
I read that right. Okay. All right. So those guns fire and it says, trouble is Morrison thought I was Mac. So yeah. So when Jack jumped out that window, Morrison thought that was Mac. And Jack's narration says, and that was one very big mistake. I was anything but an innocent, loving man called Mac. Instead, I was a raging, remorseless demon beast the legends call Werewolf. And this panel has, his shirt's been torn up by jumping through panes of a glass. So he's got shreds of a purple plaid shirt on. And the art of him just like growling and raging is amazing.
Yeah.
And so all the guys see him off in the distance. So it's too far away and it's, nighttime. So they don't really see what he is. They say, come on, he's still standing. Can't you guys shoot better than that? And they're all pew, 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 shooting at him. Meanwhile, Mac has grabbed Mora and burst out of the back door, and he's running off yelling like a madman. No, I won't let you hurt her. Do you hear me, Morrison? I won't let you kill my child. And he seems to just eat shit and fall down the snow with his daughter in his arms. I'll protect her with my own body if I have to.
Yeah, he basically just like trips on a nail right off his porch and just eats shit into the snow.
Well, there's no sense, there's no feeling, right? Right, Andy?
Right, Andy.
So the beast starts stalking towards them, which I thought was fascinating. Here's an interesting little kind of logistical change that we haven't had yet. The men with the guns annoyed the werewolf. He stalked toward them, impossibly shrugging off the blistering barrage. So he's going full Hulk here with the concept of these aren't silver. I'm not being mortally wounded.
No.
Or even seriously wounded. So they're shooting at him, and there's this great panel of him, the cabin and the moon in the background. He's coming towards the viewer, the guns in the foreground firing, and he's in shadow, his head and his chest and arms. And he's just stalking through the snow towards us. I'm hitting him, Morrison. I know I am, but he won't fall. And this other panel, God, I love this one in the bottom left. He is bathed in blue, so it's all just moonlight. Blue background, blue werewolf, just red glowing eyes and white teeth. And just different purples and blues of highlights on his fur. It says, I stalked closer, at first no more than a blackened silhouette, but gradually closing the gap between vision and forced by darkness. And then he comes out where they can actually see him and growls at them, and they see his face and they freak out. And it says they knew what insanity felt like. Like, oh my God, did you see it? It's a monster. And it just says, truer words were never spoken.
Yeah, what a great reveal. Just this slow stalking towards them. And then finally he gets into the moonlight. And yeah, they just lose their shit, which is appropriate.
Yes.
I love it. And then we see on the next page, I mean, the beast just goes fucking nuts and just starts mowing down all of these fuckers, just like slashing at faces. He's really going for the face a lot. And I have to applaud him on that. It's very effective and great. And looks great too. Yeah, the first panel, some guy tries to hit him with his gun, and the beast just cracks it in half. And that says the first one tried to use his rifle like a club. I broke it in half, ripped his face open, and lunged into the second one. And yeah, it's so great. It says before he even had a chance to swing his chain, then yeah, he just is totally destroying these guys, slamming them into. He really is. He's just slashing faces and trying to disembowel these guys. So we basically reached the point that we saw on the cover. And yeah, it's just amazing. And so they realize that they can't win this fight, and so they start to take off. One of them says, "It's impossible, a nightmare. We got to get out of here." It says, and they started to scatter. Big tough men reduced to wailing, whimpering babies. Just thought it was pretty great. It says, and the thought of their escape had never occurred to the werewolf. He'd only tasted blood and only began to slash and rend. No way he'd let it in so quickly. So yeah, he just takes off right after him.
I love that. He's just playing with them now, right?
Yeah, it is a different tone. The fights and the viciousness, the animalistic side of the werewolf has a different tone this issue.
And which I'm loving.
Yeah, I'm loving too. It's a great change.
That last panel, so when he's just slashing these dudes, there's one where he grabs a guy by the head and slams him into another guy. I'm sure that broke his neck because it looks like the impact is insane. But the physicality of him, the way Perlin drew him as he's doing that move, looks so like real. It's just amazing.
That's great.
So yeah, the werewolf's in heaven. He is slashing up Hicks.
Yeah.
And, loving every minute of it. So they're all running off along that ridge that we saw on the cover, and he's chasing after him, and he's loving it. And it says, a ridge burnished silver by moonlight on crisp frost. So Doug's still in there, even though he's kind of changed his tone and his approach. He's still in there.
He's still there.
And Jack says 4 of the 5 would escape, bereft of physical injury, though their minds would never be the same. I love that too, that they're all just kind of broken people after this. But as for the 5th, and then we see this panel where Jack has dived into Morrison and grabbed him from the top on the shoulders, and Morrison's screaming in terror, "No!" It says, well, as soon as the werewolf snagged him, he knew it was over. His name was Morrison. And then we get this shot where, fuck, man, I mean, this panel, the beast is like pulling him back by his claws with his face. So he's grabbing him by the face and yanking back and pulling this guy up off the snow. He was a man who wished to kill another man and kidnap that man's child. Chillingly, he cared about neither. And I thought it was interesting that they took this little beat here to just show us how awful Morrison is. Having already beaten that man, stolen the love of that man's wife, Morrison merely wanted to get that man, Mac, an innocent man, a good man, out of the way. As for the child, deeply loved by Mac, Morrison could care even less. He merely needed the child to preserve the love he'd stolen, to placate the demands of the woman who'd left Mac without cause. In fact, Morrison would just as soon have killed the child along with the man. And while the beast is sussing this out, like I said, he's grabbed him by the face, yanked him up, and then he appears to be slashing. And is he chomping into his stomach? Is he like just tearing at his tender parts?
Either tearing at his stomach or just bending over and just chomping his face.
Chomping, that's what I'm saying. Is he biting into like his...
Oh, yeah, he's definitely biting into Morrison there. It's a terrifying. And you can see, and there's still blood kind of dripping from his claws, too. Like, it's just holy shit.
In that last panel where Jack or the Beast or whoever is realizing that this guy would have killed more if he could, it didn't matter to him. He has picked him up by the back of the head, and he's slashing at him on the edge of this cliff, and it looks like, I don't know if this guy has any innards left at this point. Like, it looks like he's just doing finishing moves way after the match is over.
Oh yeah, he's just totally just slashing this guy's head to goo. Basically, is how I'm imagining it.
This one was so extra violent.
Yeah, it was. Again, I think that's a deliberate choice by the creators, being like, oh, we got to adult this shit up. No more glitter night. Yeah,
we need to not be having like these goofy villains, and I think he's like they made him a hand grenade. Let's actually point him at people who deserve to die. It's kind of like what they did with Punisher, right? Like we were talking about last episode. Like, let's get some real pieces of shit and just let this guy destroy him. It's entertaining.
It's entertaining, and it's deeply satisfying. And then it just gets even better on the next page because, after the beast, basically just slashed Morrison's face to a sticky pulp. And then, Yeah, he's not done with him yet. He lifts him up and just throws the dude off the cliff, like way off the cliff. And he falls, hundreds of feet onto rocks. That means we drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he body slammed off the top of a mountain.
Oh, couldn't be more badass.
And I would really like that panel of him holding Morrison over his head to be involved somewhere in the feed.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be so hard to choose panels this time. God, there's a lot.
So I love that. I don't want to interrupt you here too much, but like the panels you're talking about here right now, there's so much violence done to Morrison that they can't even show any close up or detail. You just see like Petra and Perlin just had like splatters of things like grew coming off of it. So like whatever like the beast is doing with the body, there's just like flecks of like flesh and viscera behind it. It's so gross.
It's so awesome, though. Yeah, it's so gross. And you're right. That's about as well as they could portray that being a code-approved comic.
Yep.
And it's almost better in a way than it would have been in like a Psycho or a Nightmare magazine. Like it's really cool and really scary.
No, me filling in what his face looks like at this point is better than Suso or whoever drawing it.
That's right. Then we cut back to Mac. He says, "You're safe now, Mora. I mean that, honey. I won't let anything hurt you. You're my baby, and I won't let anyone take you away, not even if they try to kill me." But really, all he did was just trip while holding a child.
Excellently.
Excellently. He did. He was still running with an infant in his arms. And then he just basically woke up and is just like, "You're safe now."
I did it.
I did it. But then I love that it's almost punctuated by Jack, because the next panel, the beast is howling at the moon. It says, "And after I got rid of my garbage, I howled at the fat moon all night long."
I feel like this is Doug marking that this is a departure. Like we've seen Jack go nuts. Like remember when he did this to the committee with Moon Knight? Remember when he did this to the cult? But like this feels like he's embracing it and like Jack's in there somewhere and like saying like, I came here to die or to disappear, and I'm owning who I am now. Like Jack's in here in some element.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I think that Doug really meant a lot of these changes and really thought about it and crafted this in such a good way. Like this is just such a well-told story throughout this issue. And then, after the beast is howling at the moon, that we just switch back to morning, and there's a shivering Jack. Says, "In the morning, I guessed what had happened, but tried not to think about it too much." And he goes back into the cabin. Oh, he says, "Somehow, as I was drawn back to Mac's cabin freezing, the thought of last night's blood didn't bother me much. Something inside told me it was all right, that it was worth it." And then he opens the door right as he says "worth it." And we see Mac, feeding little baby Mora, and she has a rattle and really cute little bib. So it's this kind of idyllic father-daughter scene that he comes into. So it was worth it. He preserved that.
But I love who did the lettering?
It's Deborah James.
I love the way that she lettered Jack's high. Like it's small and modest, cool, right? And just kind of like he doesn't like it. So it conveys so much. Like he's like, "Do you know that I'm a werewolf? And did I like try and kill you or anything last night?" Like it's just like it's so loaded. It is loaded, and I think that this is like the fourth or fifth appearance we've had of Deborah James, who was dating Don Perlin at the time. They were a couple, and I think that they're really working well together in this issue. Mm-hmm. Definitely. So if this were not code approved, I think that Jack would probably be fingertips to armpits and blood. Yeah. But the fur goes somewhere. I guess the blood goes with it. There's another Hostess ad, the Twinkie Takers.
Oh, who's in this one?
This is one of those ones. It's a guy that looks like Gene Shalit with red hair.
But it turns out
he's wearing. No, it turns out it's Spider-Man. So I thought I meant the villain.
Okay.
He's robbing a bank or something, but he actually has Groucho glasses on. But he does have
Gene Shalit with red hair. I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, he's robbing something, and Spider-Man shows up, and he's got them Twinkies. You know, so goddamn much. So there's this weird moment. Mac is a weird dude, by the way.
He's a really weird dude.
Never got a read on him in this. So we stared at each other for a moment of heavy silence, and Mac is wiping Mora's face, and they're just looking at each other soundlessly in a really weird, heavy way. There was nothing to say. And then Mac says, "Yeah, that was the last jar of baby food. I brought 30 of them out here with me. I didn't think I'd need all of them, though, you know. If I hadn't lost my job," he's like, "if I haven't lost my job by now," and Jack's like, "Yeah, they kind of tend to take your job away when you don't show up for work." Like, "Yeah, they always fire you without you knowing. But I'm glad you came back here, Jack." He's like, "Yeah, me too. Say, do you know what happened last night?" And Mac has this weird expression on this close-up. He's like, "Yes, I know exactly what happened." And Jack's like, You do? And he starts visibly sweating. And Mac picks up more out of the baby chair. He's like, "A miracle happened, Jack. A miracle." And then one of those weird light switch things happens. And Mac, and holding Mora, clutching her close, starts glowing, pulsating Plug plasma with red rays coming out of it. And Jack's losing his shit, like, "Holy, what the fuck?" And Mac is saying, "But the miracle is just beginning, Jack Russell. There will be no more thoughts of killing yourself. It is time to return." And that's when Jack says, "What the fuck?" There's another black box of text that says, Tomorrow a man whose life has been lived by she who is called Gisela will stand on a doorstep in New Orleans." So we get that same weird shifting where we're in one place and time and going to another place and time that's happening at the same time to interthread them.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I love that bottom panel there. Where, yeah, Mac is just suddenly all colored in shades of black and blue, and there's just like yellow light around that, and then there's some black and orange kind of blue plasma, and there's just so many layers of color around his weird transformation. And yeah, we kind of get to actually see the transformation there. That's the first time this issue that it hasn't just been a hard snap into the next panel. Like, we kind of see something is going on there. And like you said, it went, the narration at the bottom says, he'll stand on a doorstep in New Orleans. And then on the next page, it finally all comes together. All the roads meet, and we see Raymond Coker at the doorstep. And he's knocked on the door. Someone's opened it up. Says, "Yes, my name is Bamboo." Raymond says, "Good, then Gisela was right. Is Jericho Drum here?" And he says, "Come in, Raymond Coker. Brother Voodoo has been expecting you." We get a really cool shot of Jericho Drum sitting in his badass chair.
Tinting his fingers like
Mr. Burns. It's just like, wow, this is awesome. I
love that fucking character, man.
He's great. He really is. I'm so excited we're going to get to have a story with him in it. Then it switches right back to the cabin, and Jack's like, "You mean you didn't hear that voice?" And Mac's like, "No, Jack, the only voice I heard was yours. Now, don't you think it's time to return?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess it is." I thought it was funny at the bottom there. It says, "The baby had been sleeping the whole time." Just in case you were scared that it was in danger. It was like, no, it's fine. Then the bottom says, "Then as we trudged from the cabin to Morrison's car, something occurred to me. I'd never told Mac my name." Then the last panel says, "Something definitely heavy was going down. I didn't know exactly what, but it seemed the werewolf had done something good for a change. So I figured maybe it was time to return to the land of the living, the land of hope." And it's a panel. They're going off in the old-timey car, and we have the three who are one, kind of, their floating heads above the horizon. And then we get one more text box that's all in black. It says, "Elsewhere, the Cowled One, Burning Snake, and Goat Child gather in blue flooded darkness. We are discussing the future."
Oh,
so
such
cool.
a great ending.
Yeah, what the shit? That's so awesome. And then we have the teaser at the bottom. It says first it says, "This story dedicated to a close friend and his dedication to life no matter what." And it says, "Next, the shock ending of the year and Some Are Born to the Night," which I'm assuming is from
Van Morrison?
From the Blake poem.
It's either Van Morrison or William Blake.
Yeah. Come on. Some Are Born to Endless Night. It's from the Auguries.
He didn't say endless.
No, he didn't say endless. You're right. But so interesting. Like, do you think that, what did you think of that story dedication to a close friend and his dedication to life, no matter what? Did this have like some kind of inspiration? Did Doug or Dawn have some kind of friend that was struggling with suicidal thoughts? And what's going on with that?
It's actually about me.
Okay. We'll have that talk, Matt. I'm here for you. We'll chat.
No, I in seriousness, I don't know. Should we get Doug on here?
Well, that's the dream, right?
We haven't asked.
Yeah, I guess we haven't asked.
So it's kind of a hurdle not attempted, right?
Well, okay, here we are. I'll just put this out into the universe. So we have 5 episodes after this one.
Yes.
5 more issues left.
5 more?
Or 38, 39, 40, 41, 42.
You're right.
Yeah. So, and then after that, you and I were talking about doing a bit of a wrap-up episode. What if for half of that wrap-up episode, we interview Doug Bench? What would you think of that?
I would like that very much.
I would too. Let's try to make that happen.
Yeah. How about I'll get on him and you get on Perwin?
Okay.
Perwin's dead, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So we should probably do final thoughts before Wire Mail.
Yeah, I'll go first. Honestly, I thought this series was going to be done, dead, and buried. I had told you, I'm just like, oh, I'm not excited about this last shit. This is going to be shit. I'm not going to like it. It's going to be stupid. And you told me I was wrong, and I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect this episode, this issue, to be so awesome. Like, I really enjoyed it. I've read it multiple times. I enjoyed it. I honestly think this is one of the stronger issues of the fucking series.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. I really enjoy this next it's 2 or 3 issues that including this one, this storyline. So that's why when Triana Man or whatever and Iron Man show up, like, it was such a betrayal to me. I mean, sales must have been so bad that Wolfman said you got to put Iron Man or some, a hero in here. I don't know how that works. Or maybe it's Doug saying, like, can I please use somebody to save this foundering ship? I don't know, but in a just world, this would have been the new direction. This darkness, the violence, and the purpose, and this would have had another 2-3 years in it, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. It really should have stuck to this. You're right. I don't know what happened at the end. You're right. It seems like some kind of editor's edict, like, oh, you guys are in the shit. You need Iron Man. Like, you need to throw someone that has some fucking brand recognition on there because your title is tanking, friends. So I would have to be an editor thing. Yeah.
I mean, I've said before, it would have been nice if this had transitioned at some point in the last 10 issues into a Curtis magazine or something where Doug could take the gloves off and go fully dark. But I feel like he is really put work into this, and it's like, this is where I can go and be intellectually satisfied, potentially save the book, and revitalize it. I mean, we liked the Marcosa stuff, but like, this just seems like it was a huge shot in the ass, like, of purpose and direction and a tonal shift, everything. And
I feel like we've talked about it a lot, how he's tried this entire time for his entire run to get that perfect balance of the work that he did at the black and white magazines and for the color comics. And he's been going back and forth, and sometimes it's not a good combo. Sometimes it's a little stilted, but I honestly think that he's figured it out. Like, this is the perfect formula. If he was just able to, if he was allowed to just keep doing this, I mean, this title could have run another 30 issues.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, Tomb of Dracula is going to run for 2 more years.
Yeah. And I don't know anybody that's read those last 2 years worth.
No.
It has fans,
Yeah. No, this should have kept going at this caliber, but something happened, and we'll deal with that in the issues to come.
So, to your recollection, like, is the Jericho drum stuff, is that, I count this part 1. The next issue is part 2. Is there a third one? Is this a 3-part story?
I think so, but I've also been trying my hardest to not look ahead at all because I want to come at these fresh every week.
I like that. Can I tell you something real quick here?
Yes.
On the Mighty Marvel checklist, remember those?
Oh, yeah.
It's a magnificent mishmash of Marvelous mags now on sale. We have Captain Marvel, Fantastic Four, Marvel Team Up, Iron Man, Howard the Duck, and Werewolf by Night. And Werewolf by Night was one of the 2 titles, along with Howard the Duck, that got the little thumbnail illustration. So I feel like editorial was trying.
Well, yeah. I mean, Marv is obviously behind the book at this point.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he was instrumental in saving it. And he wants to prove that he was right, that he made the right call. So he's going to put some promotion into that.
So here's the blurb.
Okay.
Remember the little check boxes? Werewolf by Night 38. A startling new direction in the life of Jack Russell's alter ego as Wolfie learns that Rebirth also kills. Plus, Doug Munch and Don Perlin introduce the 3 who are one.
It's cool. So they're almost setting them up as big bad guys that will be reoccurring. And they should have been because they're badass.
Are they villains?
I don't know. Kind of. Probably not, but they're cool. They should have at least stuck around. They're more like gods.
Yeah, they feel more like they're gods who are above any kind of that simple duality, morality kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So here's a quick letter.
Okay, let's have a quick one.
Which is fun because you were talking about Deborah James. We're mailers. As we leaf through the comics at our local drugstore, one particular issue caught our eye. Werewolf by Night 33. Why was it different? Taking a closer look, we noticed an interesting quacked on page 14 and an intriguing rawr on page 23. Indeed, the lettering was truly stimulating throughout the entire book. Turning to the first page, we discovered you had a new letterer, one Deluscious Deborah James. We feel certain she would be a terrific contribution to any staff, but she fits in especially well at Marvel. We look forward to seeing much more of her work. Signed, Susan, Patty, Sandy, and Leslie James, Chicago, Illinois. And it says, the response is, Susan, Patty, Sandy, and Leslie James, huh? We're not suggesting any sibling chicanery or even nepotism, mind you, but Deluscious Deb James has asked us to pass along the following message. Say hi to Mom and Pop for me. And just to put the capper on it, Devil May Care Doug sends personal greetings to his future sisters-in-law.
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
Oh, I really enjoyed that. That's great.
We were both fans of this issue quite a bit, right? I mean,
yeah, definitely. I was a huge fan of this issue. Can't wait for the next one.
Cool. Yeah. The 3 who are all, I remembered it a little bit, but like, it's so strange coming back to this like 20 years later almost and just fresh eyes and, COVID brain. Like I just it's basically new. So I'm with you. Yeah.
It's new to me. And I mean, they're just so they're very, yeah, it's almost suddenly like this is a slightly avant-garde comic, which I'm totally into.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to read this next issue with you and Tim because, again, it was my first one. I read it probably 12, 15 times before I read any other issues or anything else about the character. So
it's so cool. I can't wait.
Tattooed on my soul.
So yeah, like you were saying, next episode we'll have Tim Tucker, who we were just on his podcast that he does with his friend Andrew called Stay at Homer. And that was a lot of fun. We talked about the B Sharps episode. But yeah, he's going to be coming on here talking with us next issue. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, please check out Stay at Homer podcast. It's so good. It's a tried and true formula. 2 British guys who are basically on COVID lockdown reviewing Simpsons episodes and wondering at some strange American nonsense.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts about listening to that show, which I subscribed immediately. I think, yeah, once you told me about it, I subscribed and started listening to it. And I would be walking the dog and just like talking like, no, that's, Johnny Carson's this. And
yeah,
I think they were just saying like, are open caskets a thing in the, in the US? Like who does open caskets? Like, oh, we fucking do, man. Like it is interactive the way I listen to the show. I love it.
It is. I love their takes on the episode, but it's the cultural things that it's funny. No, both of me and my wife, we love listening to it, but we also yell at it.
Yeah, I yell at it too.
In a great way, like not in like a you assholes, but just
no.
Just like, oh, that's so weird.
No, it's interactive.
You don't know who Alvin and the Chipmunks are. That's weird.
Because and I can't do the inverse. I can't watch like a British thing. Like when I first watched The Office, the real true God's Right Office, the BBC one, like I would be Googling stuff and like who is Charlie Dimmock? What is Frey Bentos, like, dinners? Like I need to know the context. And there's a lot of those in that type of reality, that show nested in the kind of whatever, very real stuff. So it's all very common pop culture things. So it's hard to get all of them, but it's like Pokemon. I got to catch them all.
Yeah, got to catch them all. No, I love it. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to.
Are you ready for some Werewolf multimedia?
You know it.
Werewolf multimedia.
To the toppermost of the poppermost.
Where are we going, Johnny? Okay, so this time, as we're getting down to our final 5 episodes, we're trying to watch, well, we're not trying. We decided to watch 2 more of the Paul Naschy, Waldemar Daninsky cycle. So tonight's installment was the Werewolf and the Yeti versus the Yeti, the Curse of the Beasts, the
Night of the Howling Beast.
Night of the Howling Beast is a common English. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That
was escaping me. So we saw a pretty nice print with subtitles in English from the Spanish. This is from 1975. If you recall, the last one was a period piece, and Naschy had said in interviews that what he liked about the Waldemar Daninsky stuff was that it wasn't fixed in time, and you could essentially kind of reboot it and just jump around and tell interesting stories anytime you wanted, which for a continuity geek like me bugs the fuck out of me. So I don't even think the Waldemar Daninsky that has descendants in this series is the same Waldemar Daninsky in the past and in the present. Like, he's not even doing that. He's just like, fuck it. Each one's different.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm the same way. I mean, of course I'm a sucker for continuity, but I like the punk rock storytelling of him just going, fuck it, I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Okay. Yeah, punk's interesting. We needed punk to get to a good place, but nobody wants to listen to punk. I mean, come on. Punk's garbage.
Oh boy.
It's a function.
All right, Andy Rooney.
It's like a bowel movement. Okay, everybody shits, but you don't want to talk about it or see it, other people shit.
Oh, there are exceptions to that. You know it.
Oh, well, Green Day, obviously. You're talking about real punk. No, but what did you think about this thing, man? I watched this today for the first time and only time.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Like like you were saying, it rewrites the origin of Daninsky again. And I guess just to talk about it a little bit, it's basically Waldemar meets this professor colleague of his. There's a guy that went missing. We kind of saw this Yeti attack at the very beginning of the film. And then they basically get together and go on this expedition to try and find him and try to find the Yeti. And they go to Kathmandu. And I mean, I didn't think this was a low budget fare. I felt like there was some money behind this a little bit.
They didn't leave Spain.
No, they didn't leave Spain, but they made it try to look pretty cool. They got some,
Just, it's set in the Tibet, Himalayas, whatever.
Yes.
Like, it was all, in any scene that had snow was clearly shot like in the lowlands of whatever of Spain, but like in April. Like, there were clearly just patches of like melted snow. Like, it reminded me of like every time you watch like any DVD commentary of a movie that's set in winter, and it's like they're always like, oh my god, this was like the one day we had to shoot the scene and there was no fucking snow, so we're like shoveling shit out, and we brought the stuff in and we're spraying snow from like 50 miles away, and like, what I mean, it just felt like it was that, but they didn't even care that much.
No, they didn't. There's some scenes where it's snow and then it's just like a forest in springtime.
Yep. Just a little, cute little veil, just with a little cabin there, a little monk cabin.
So let me ask you this. So Daninsky ends up kind of separated from the group, or he goes off on his own like a badass. He ends up finding this cave with these two women in it. Now,
Best part of the movie.
Best part of the movie. Now, it seems like they're a weird combination of like vampires and werewolves. Did you get that too? Like, what the fuck were they?
I didn't know what they were because they referred to the goddess Kali, right? Like, were they avatars of these gods, or were they actually just, I don't know.
Well, they were cannibals as well. We see them like gnawing on some viscera and like on a severed arm. And one of them, before he kills both of them with like a stake, kind of more to the heart, not really to the heart, but
an arrow from a dead body that was in the caves, right? And
they kind of disintegrate. But one of them had like fangs, but also it seemed like she had like a bunch more hair like on her face in one scene. So I was like, okay, so these are vampire werewolf cannibal.
So I was walking lightly because I was like, this is Mediterranean women. I don't want to insult anybody. Like,
I know. But it's
no, I think I've read somewhere that these are vampire women.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. But then weirdly enough, he's bitten by them, and that's how he becomes a werewolf.
I think that they are some kind of Campbellian, the same way that he would like put snake gods, and associate like snakes with the earth and like chthonic, the whole kind of thing. I think they're just like, they're gorgonic vampire werewolf. Like they're way transhuman. Like they're god heads.
I love that explanation, and I'm just not sure Nashi is highbrow enough to have come up with that. And he wrote this one like he writes every single one. And but he gets bit by one of these women, runs off. He has one of those weird. They didn't even try to have it be a pentagram. It almost just looked like a half circle, half diamond. Like they get a pentagram wrong every single time, and they just stopped trying.
Yeah, it's like getting a tattoo that says "mom" when you're drunk. Yeah. It's M-A-M.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, it's so dumb. But so he's bitten, and then he goes outside the cave, and there's a full moon. He instantly turns into the werewolf, and so he ends up killing like one of his party that he had come up the mountain with. Saves one of the original gals that was in the party from this kind of rapey dude. Kills both of them. But he gets shot. Like the werewolf gets shot a couple times, which is a great parallel to the issue in that one, because he gets shot like 3 times and it doesn't do anything to him.
Right.
And so he goes, kills a couple guys, wakes up in his human form, and then him and his girlfriend for this movie kind of take off to find her father, who was taken captive by these bandits. So it's a movie about a Yeti, but really the bandits are the antagonists basically the whole time. So it's at the end.
Right. So the Yeti appears in the first scene and the last scene.
Yeah.
And the rest is werewolf nonsense with some really racist.
Yeah.
Right. They call him a Ka, right? Or
Khan.
A Khan. So he's like a bandit king. And there's a lot of whitewashing.
Yep. There's some.
Or Spaniard washing. I don't know what you call that, but like.
There's some pretty problematic shit.
There's some, like the Khan who is a head of like this Alibaba and the 40 Thieves kind of thing in the mountains is clearly a white dude with just a really bad ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets really weird. Like there's this kind of witch that's trying to heal the Khan, and her name is Wandessa.
Which was the name of wasn't the name of the Bathory descendant or something in the one the last one we really liked?
Yeah, it was a part of that, and I can't believe that we've basically forgot to mention that one of the hiking party that he was up with is named Larry Talbot.
Oh, I know. God. So what's the point?
I know there's no point.
If you're foreshadowing something, which I expected the entire time I was watching this guy, like, okay, something cool is going to happen with this. Maybe he'll get bit by a Yeti and he'll become a Yeti and they'll fight each other. But nope, he's Larry Talbot.
Yeah, he's just Larry Talbot. It's a joke that doesn't land.
Can I tell you something weird? When I was looking around today, I found out that during the COVID times, an announcement happened that I was not aware of, which was that one of my super gay crushes, Ryan Gosling, is playing Larry Talbot in a new reboot of The Wolfman. Did you know this?
Yeah, I had read that not too long ago.
Okay. And he wanted to direct, but they said we'd prefer you just focus on the character because it is two characters. So let's have you be Larry Talbot and the Wolfman and not the director at the same time. So yeah, interesting. I love Ryan Gosling. I'm a huge Ryan Gosling fan. And I love the Wolfman. So I have feelings. I'm hopeful.
I'm very hopeful. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
It's like when I found out that Denis Villeneuve or whatever was doing Dune. It's like, I love the movies I've seen of his, and I love Dune. Could this be good? This could be good, right? I'm allowed to have nice things.
Yeah, we can totally have nice things. Dune is going to be great. I know it is.
Have you seen the newest, the final trailer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The final trailer sold me. Yeah,
definitely. There was one of the two trailers that I was like, oof. I was like, I love the visuals, but God, it's cut together like kind of a silly action movie. One of them was, but then this final trailer, I was like, oh no, it's okay.
It looks heavy and layered and awesome.
As it should be.
I never saw the Benicio 2010 with that much troubled production with Anthony Hopkins. I'm told it basically followed the same script and it was just an update.
Okay, and that's cool. We need to watch it. I mean,
yeah, we probably should. Yeah. So, what did you think of this thing, man?
It was all right. Like, I didn't hate it.
Am I crazy, or did we read a IMDb user review that basically said like this is like Paul Naschy but with way more violence and nudity, or were they talking about the previous one?
No, they were talking about this one, and there's no nudity. I mean, there's just
this is the Spanish version.
And this is the Spanish version. And yeah, there's a pretty gross torture scene that you can read about if you want to have it spoiled for you. And it's gross, but it was not as gruesome as other films, and it did not have as much nudity as other films. So I don't know what the fuck that reviewer was saying.
And I saw one tuchus of a tortured lady, and I saw one breast of another tortured lady who was also not a European woman, which made me feel weird. I don't like whenever they have a bunch of sex slave, whatever, blah, blahs, and they're all basically white chicks who are essentially standing in for like Asian women. And then they have like the one actual local person who has her kid off and is showing her breast. Like, that's so exploitative. Like it
is. It makes you feel real uncomfortable.
So I saw it in this one. I was like, God damn it, you're doing it again. Like,
no, it's not good.
We're in Tibet. And the only actually Asian person in the whole thing is the one person that shows a breast. That's gross. That's fucking exploitative.
I know.
So, yeah. Yeah, I guess, this one, I feel like I hit Naschy fatigue here. Like,
yep.
Even when it's like low and high, like I've had like stuff I've enjoyed. This one was like, there's just a couple scenes that take place like in a castle hallway, and it just looked like it was lit by a Costco like shop light. And I was like, there's no artistry to most. There is to some of this, by the way. I'm sorry. Like there is some stuff. Like there was some stuff that was like Argento-esque. Like they're trying to do some things where it's like there's a red layer and a blue layer and a green layer, and it's all like depth of focus stuff and like blah blah. But like for the most part, outside of those feature shots that are like very intentionally fussy and beautiful, it just looks very pedestrian and vulgar.
Yeah.
And uninspired is the word that kept coming up to me. It was like, he doesn't love film. He loves movies. He doesn't love film. And he keeps making films.
Yeah.
Poorly.
Yeah.
Like this, like in that first one, that scene when like he changes and he runs out of the castle and he's like standing in this outcropping of rocks outside the castle walls, and it's lit like Argento, like Suspiria. Like that's fucking gorgeous. And I keep going back to that in my mind. That's not what we're watching. We haven't seen it for a long time.
No, we haven't seen it for a while. So yeah, I had the same basically reaction as you. It's just like, oh yeah, that was fine. But it's fatigue. We've reached a fatigue. So according to you, we're going to watch one more, right?
We have to see him go to Japan and deal with samurai, don't we?
Okay, yeah, I guess we do. Okay, so we're going to watch one more.
I'm done, but I'm going to do it because I said we're doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll next week we'll talk with Tim. The week after that we'll talk Werewolves Within.
Yes,
just the two of us, and then after that we'll talk about the Daninsky Goes to Japan movie. Sound good?
That sounds good to me. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to recommend maybe another movie or two that we can watch before the run of our show winds down, you can contact us at werewolfbynightpodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram, Werewolf by Night Podcast, and we're on Twitter under Werewolf Podcast. So yeah, there's only 6 more episodes to contact us. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of the show. We have been getting lots of good reviews too, which I'm really thankful for.
Me too.
So yeah, if you want to keep that train going, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, send us a screenshot of it, and I will mail you some kick-ass buttons.
Sweet. All right, so we'll be back next week with Tim Tucker to talk about issue number 39. Thanks for joining us this week, listeners. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
Till we meet again beneath the full moon, furry ones, here's Howanacha.